Every now and then in our industry, there is somebody who bursts upon the retail scene who makes a change, and it is definitely noticed. Our gentleman today who will be speaking is setting the tone for what is possible at Step One Automotive Group. He's fostering innovation from certainty to discovery. He's fostering collaboration from authority to partnership with a limitless approach and movement. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Fernando Arellano, who is the CEO of Step One Automotive Group. Fernando, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Hi, Ted. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Very happy to be here with you guys.
Fernando, it's a great honor to have you. I have watched over these past few months, perhaps longer, in awe of the great success your organization is having. And you and your team are clearly making a difference in the automotive industry.
Thank you very much, Ted, for that. And you're right. And this is the team. I always want to say it doesn't matter how many brands we represent, doesn't matter how many buildings we have. This is about the people. This is about the team members that they make a big, big difference in what we're doing today.
And I've noticed that in a lot of the things that I've seen, especially on social media, Fernando, you highlight the team very much in
Yeah.
what it is and all that you do there at Step One. And I do believe, however, that the person who sets the tone that starts at the top, and that's clearly you. And Fernando, you are different. Um, you have an MBA, okay, and I believe your mindset is different than the typical dealer group operator. You've got 25 years of international experience in Europe, in Latin America, in the U.S. Tell us a little bit about how all this came about at Step One.
So listen, first of all, big believer in the good Lord. No, we work hard, but there's, I always said that that's 30% that's connected to the good Lord. Some people said lack. But the other 70% is it's about really really hard work. And yes, my grandfather was a Chrysler dealership in Patagonia. When you're speaking about myself being different, probably you're speaking about my broken English. That's one of the different things that I have. People get sometimes used to my broken English, but what I'm bringing to the table probably yes is international experience. Spent some time in the manufacturer side. I have the opportunity and the pleasure to work with Mr. Marchione and Stellantis, FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. So I worked 10 years on the other side of the wall, what I said. So we act, even though this is an organization that we are dealerships at the end. No, we are 22 operations, from which one rent a car, 3 parts operations. But we represent manufacturers, but with a very clear idea in the top management of the company. I would say not as a dealership, but maybe as a distributor. Passionate, extremely passionate about the process of making things happen. I always tell the guys, I don't know if, my passion is big on the core, on the piece of metal, but it's big on the process. You put the piece of metal and what's going to happen and what's going to be the outcome of that. At the end, is value for shareholders and it's value for team members. So I think that that's part of what we're doing together. So we build a vehicle. Step One Automotive Group today is a $1 billion, sorry, Ted, company. This is a fairly young company, but what I would like to explain that is behind this vehicle that we produce, there are an amount of team members that bring a lot of experience. So you told mine, but we have guys with 30, 25 years, 19 years of experience in the industry, that when they jump in this vehicle, what's the result? First of all, we have fun. Let me tell you, we work hard, but we party hard. This is one of the things I want to put on the table. We recognize team members. We share value. There's a big culture of sharing, what we're doing from the point of view of compensation and from the point of view of results. Big fun, of appreciation of what the guys are putting on the table. The MBA piece, yes, give you a little bit of insight on a different perspective. This is not a mom and pop shop, with all respect. We're running a big company that looking always, to the future and this company is going to become, no?
And you are clearly attracting a higher caliber of managers, employees. Sean Kingry, which is your fixed ops director,
Yes,
the
sir.
platform, Fernando. Great man. He's been on our program a number of times, including this event. He said to me, Ted, whenever I come on the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I am flooded by resumes for people from outside the auto and inside the auto industry who want to get involved with our organization. So, Fernando, there clearly is some magic. And you're coming to us today, I see, from the war room there in Fort Walton Beach. And I believe that you, as you mentioned to me, are very visual. And I think it's very important for a leader to have that quality.
Yeah, let me show. You asked me to show, what we have here. So we run the company on a daily basis. We told the guys, we need to run this company based on daily basis and on hourly basis. Yes, I'm very visual. What you see here are the main KPIs of the company, the 22 operations, some key KPIs. One of the things that I like a lot is setting ourselves for success. I always tell the guys, I started in the United States with a small Fiat store in Miami. So nobody was waking up in the morning to buy a Fiat in the very beginning of the morning in Miami. So it was key for me when I closed the day that the team members know tomorrow what's going to happen. So we have 5-6 appointments. The guys know that it was going to be a day that we could put a couple of cars out in the street. So there was a gentleman, some time ago coming to me telling me, you're running domestic manufacturers as a luxury brands. That's one of the things. And this is an organization that doesn't sell products. What we do, we set ourselves to success based on appointments. So the appointment setting is key of what we're doing here. So I noted this morning that I woke up, I have 170 appointments for sales. So I know what's going to happen at the end of the day. This is not a science, this is a technique, but the big push is on setting tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? This works on ports and service. This works also on the rental car company. I like to see the pipeline. And yes, Ted, I'm visual, so I need my screens. 9 appointments a day keep Fernando away, but if I don't see my screens, I get nervous. That's the reason why.
I love it so much. And Fernando, your mindset is clearly different. And you're right. You mentioned earlier about making it happen. I believe that you make it happen and you look for people on your team who help make it happen. Tell our audience again, how many stores, how many rooftops, how many brands, if you don't mind?
So today is 16 brands, so 22 operations that we have, 22 locations. I was telling you about 3 mighty franchises. We got into the parts distribution. This was a very, very interesting vertical integration. We represent today 46% of the manufacturers, let me say, in USA. So we have 52 or 4% for the time being that we don't have the parts. So this was a way to bringing some business on step one. And it was not only about the vertical integration from the point of view of revenues and gross profit. It was from the point of view of service, quality of service. Big believer in reconditioning. We have a huge project on reconditioning. We start 2019 with 17 days average time to market in reconditioning. And this not was just only the time that the car passed through service. This was from the moment we buy a car, in the auction, and from the moment that it was frontline ready. So from 17 days, and today we're playing in the 6 days. We're getting really, really very good on that one. So bottom line of the story, this kind of vertical integration has been helping us a lot in order to push this kind of process. We speak with the guys. One of the things we said is it's not about working hard, it's about working smarter. Okay, so rethinking the process, what we can do better, what we can do faster. We have a very interesting team in the company. We call it BIU, Business Intelligence Unit. These are 5 guys. What they do, these guys, so we throw them a complex process and they're going to give us a solution in numbers. A complex process, they're going to give us a redefinition of processes, or probably complex problem, and they're going to give us back, a slides to going to allow to take us the decision. But the key, I'm going back to the people, is absolutely based on the execution. I'm always looking forward for, the sense of urgency, the outstanding execution, the ownership. I asked the guys, this is your company, it's not my company, it's our company. Our responsibility is on 789 families. It's not only about the paycheck, it's who's behind, how we take care of our families and what's the impact of our decision and all those guys and the kids going to school. And, I think that we have a bigger role, and it's not just an only selling cars and making profit.
I like that. And 789 families. So there is clearly something different about step one, Fernando. And what I like very much, I saw that your operating model, you have everything written down. You have your mission, you have your core values, and you've put it in writing, which a lot of folks in our business, as you know, have not done that. And I think that's also a tribute to you. One of the things you've said, there are some operating initiatives. There are three, I think, that you had written down. You radically flatten the structure, okay? You turbocharge decision-making, which I can tell right now with that sense of urgency, and you treat your talent, who are responsible for that 789 families, as capital, as a limited capital. Tell us a little bit about those things, if you don't mind.
I'm going to start with one that probably you don't said, that is, yes, we have the mission, we have the vision, extremely clear, but we have a leadership model. So I'm going to tell you something that I learned not many years ago, that leadership is going to overcome the management science. And this is really very cool. So whatever you're going to put on the paper, there's going to be a business plan that's going to be supported by a management science. When you put the leadership on top of that, you're going to overachieve. That's our model, and working in leadership is not just and only taking care of the top 20 guys, top 40 guys that they have a big responsibility on 789, but, sharing what's the model, and this is about changing people and it's leading people and it's leading change. These are two big columns that we focus a lot all the time. You can figure out different leadership models, but big believer that probably what we have today is working very well is leading people and leading change. These are the two aspects and two elements. So I'm going to repeat the concept because I think it's really, really cool. Leadership is going to overachieve, the management science. And this is coming from the service, from the militaries. The guys are big, big believers in this. Yes, very flat structure, very, open, big believer in communication and trust. There's no such a problem that we cannot figure out and we are not going to solve it and we put it on the table. This is about taking ownership. Guys, I mess it. Sometimes I mess it too. I take decisions that they're not correct or probably didn't see it coming, but it's putting on the table, working with extremely very committed guys. When we say what's good for step one is good for me. What's good for step one is good for me. So we're taking, the personal side. We're taking out the drama out from the equation, and it's about, the company, where we're going, and what we would like to accomplish. So yes, mission and vision. And there's another one that we have on the table that is about stepping up. It's a beautiful chart that we have in all the stores. And this came in 2019. 2019, when we have the pandemic. And I always tell the guys the worst side of the pandemic has been the fear. It's not about the effect, it's the fear. The original concept was, we're going to keep our team safe. We need to keep this guy safe. Mm-hmm. But in that moment of fear, everybody was reacting in a very weird way. We have colleagues firing people, we have organization nearby, 40% downsizing and structure. Yeah. So we got out from the pandemic. Fortunately, we managed the way 0 people fired. We keep all our teams. Wow. We kept our team safe, but the requirement, it was stepping up. It's not enough what you was doing today. And originally, yesterday, to what's coming. And original, the statement, probably it was for the big guys, big directors of the company. And I realized that it was for the service advisor. It was for the porter, step up. What you don't do today is not the same that you're doing tomorrow. Entertain the customers in the best way possible. A big smile is going to make a big, big difference. And I promised my partner at the very beginning, listen, the moments they are really tough and really, complicated for all of us, but I promise you that we're going to have a company at the end of this situation. It's going to be stronger than ever. And I think that we make it happen because of this.
Wow. You told me earlier that you have a military partnership at step one, and that's a big part of the commitment that you've made to the community. Fernando, tell us a little bit about that military partnership that your organization has.
Let me tell you, born in Argentina, lived many years in Italy, conduct business in Brazil. I'm the kind of guy that if you ask me, where do you live? I'm going to tell you, we live in the best country in the world. And whomever have any doubts about this, you can come to me and I can tell you why. I can tell you why, because I've been living abroad. So I see the positive and I also see the opportunities. And probably, when I arrived to we are located in the Panhandle. There's a very strong military component, not only in the customer base, but also we have the Air Force Base, we have the Rangers, the 7th Special Forces, and we have the top of these guys, Special Forces and the Green Berets on the Army. You have the combat controllers. And I got really inspired about these guys, not only because, they keep us safe and what they have been doing for us and what they do for us, but because, normally when we work in this environment, you're going to have guys come to you and say, boss, this is tough. It's hot outside. And what I was asking in this kind of relationship, and we have people coming, and it was keynote speaker, it was share with us, management, relentless approach, when we speak about stress management, when we speak about leadership. And we start bringing some of these guys, to the table. And It was about showing the team, whenever you complain, there are some guys jumping on the other side of the world, probably in the middle of the desert, just in order to keep us safe. So there has been a great contribution coming from these big guys in the service, on the business side. Slowly and steady, today, I would say we have 10 of those guys working with us, some of them in training. We have a combat controller colonel coming from the Air Force, being the head of human resources and talent management. Why? Because these guys are very good with people. They don't know about the automotive business, but they are experts in people and leadership. So we have been having this kind of influence of these guys, with us. We spend a long time with them, some training out from the company, doing trekking with them. We ride motorcycles with the guys, not only with people working with us, but people in the service coming with us. So building this relationship that I would say that is very, I would say it's organic. It's very difficult, to build it another way. I became an honorary commander of the Air Force, so I'm very proud about that. So I would imagine something that this could happen to me. But the key of this is where we're going and not where we have. So we understand the side and the effect on the company, but there's a big give back that I learned from the Air Force. The guys are always there is give back to the community. And these have two sides. I'm getting classy. Lately, I'm saying that. It's not I'm getting old, I'm getting classy. And I think that I'm not going to be able to change the world, but we're going to be able to inspire somebody that's going to do it for us. And this is about putting together these big organizations, core dealerships, Air Force, militaries. When we put them together, we can have a big impact on the community with unprivileged kids. Probably Sean told you about, the technical lab that we're working, the Ocalusia Technical School that we're putting together. So this is part of the puzzle that we're putting together. The other side of this, with this organization that we're working today, that we call it Forever Warriors, is always putting an eye on those guys that are coming out from the service. These guys put many, many years, 30 years in the service, and sometimes they don't know where to go. They don't have the future. They're not trained for that. And we open our doors and our arms to these guys to tell them, listen, you have a space here. What you learn there can be used in the automotive business in an extremely good way. And you can speak about service advisors, becoming technicians, becoming a managers, being in desking deals and being in the dealerships, selling cars. So this is more or less where we're going with that. I would say this is a very beginning of where we're going, but it's working really very well. I'm very proud, of this involvement that we're having with these guys and with the community.
I could tell so much, and it is not just the military, but you mentioned the community also.
So,
You've got a partnership within that community, and I've heard so much about that. Let me go back, if I may. You mentioned earlier that you've been building what I hear is called the Center of Excellence on 3.7 acres, a
yes.
reconditioning center for the entire company. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So if we go back to your numbers, so 2019, 2020, probably we double numbers, volume. So units in operation for you guys that you're so used to that. 2020, 2021, we double again. We double the company. This was a $500 million company. We double it in a moment that we have no cars. We have no new cars. It looks like auction is getting crazy. So the reality is that we are setting, based on the results of the company, I was not going to say we are setting a big challenge for the guys from Ports and Service for what's going to come. So at the very beginning, when we doubled the first time, it was about we need to figure out those workshops that they have capacity. So we have some brands where the capacity was not fully absorbed, and we have some brands where we need extra, 10 lifts and working position tomorrow morning. And we divert whatever was internal to the reconditioning centers. So, we leave the customer face and we leave the customer pay in that store. Wherever we have capacity, we start moving our used cars to that reconditioning center. I realized that was not enough, so we start building what we call today the Center of Excellence. A Center of Excellence is going to be a workshop fully dedicated just and only for reconditioning of used cars. This is the used car machine, and it's related to the time to market that I was telling you before, Chad. It's about, how fast we get in, how fast we get it out. Where it's not only around reconditioning, it's the detailing, it's going to be the pictures there of the cars. So you have a piece of the merchandising. I'm trying to finish the first one, COVID, from the point of view of labor and material stuff, but we are planning to have 3 of them. So one in Fort Walton Beach Destin area, the other one is going to be in Pensacola, and another one in Savannah, in the area of Savannah. Because what we're building is capacity. It's capacity and time to market. That's behind this idea. But very excited. I'm looking forward to show you what we're going to put together there.
You have an amazing vision, and you're an amazing person as well, Fernando. I think I could interview you here all day. I'm going to have to come to Fort Walton Beach and meet you in person and see all this firsthand.
Please, and sometimes I always tell the guy, this is a very open organization. What we do here have no secret recipe. And I'm always telling the guys, come here, put an eye. People that they're not working with us, some dealerships that they visit us. I think that the secret sauce that we put here is love. Believe it or not, I always tell the guys, compassion, be compassion with people, because once again, we work with imperfectly perfect, people also. And the compassion, and when we put an eye on the limits and we try to reinforce, the positive elements that they bring to the table, this works very well. And the secret sauce, once again, is love. So I'm always open to show you what we do here. This is like my wife. She's Italian. She cooks Italian. I can give you all the recipe of the world, but, you need to have that special sauce that I think that we have it here, Ted. But yes, more than happy to have you with us, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. I could smell the special sauce. Finally, Fernando. Finally, for today, what advice can you give our audience, the dealers, the general managers watching, the fixed operations, the service, the parts, the reconditioning, the pre-owned used car managers watching? Yeah. What advice would you give our audience today, looking ahead for the rest of 22 and how to be prepared?
Yeah. So let me tell you, there's a big disruption coming, and whomever didn't realize, you have manufacturers thinking about direct distribution. You have big changes from the point of view of customer base. You have our customers more educated than ever. You have an e-commerce process that is coming from manufacturers and their external vendors, et cetera, et cetera. So who doesn't understand that we are in the middle of the disruption probably is looking to a different field, no? And I'm very active in dealer councils, and sometimes I hear people that they don't realize. I always tell the guys, there's a wave. There's a wave coming. And the magic about this wave, who's going to be in condition to surf it? I tell the guys, stay focused. We're going to surf this wave. this wave is based on training. Training and prepare yourself. Training and prepare yourself. Big advocate on customer satisfaction. The programs that you have today is coming from the manufacturers. They have their own training. Yes, so we check that box. We train the top level of the organization. We have 17 guys in NADA Academy. So we are preparing the guys for what's going to come. Yes, big training to the rest of the organization, not only technician, whomever have a contact, let me say, is in contact with a final customer, need to have 1 day off of the job, just and only in training. So this is what we're doing in 2022. So I think that training probably is going to give a big piece of the solution. 70% is attitude, Ted. Attitude. You have the future. The future is on you. It's not on step one. Brother, you have the future. If you have your attitude and you understand that you can change your future, we're going to give you the tools to make this happen.
Wow. Great advice, Fernando. And on behalf of the Fixed Ops community and the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I want to thank you for your time with us here this morning. We're going to have to come back and see more and learn more. But in the meantime, Fernando, thank you so much for your time with us today.
My pleasure, sir. All the best for you guys. Always here for you.
Fernando, the Chief Executive Officer at the Step One Automotive Group, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ted.